Time to talk about mulberry, one of Niagara region's fastest growing trees. A little weedy. So what you see here is a mulberry tree that is growing between two fences. So you have the chain link fence there and the wooden fence, and the mulberries just growing between it. And I've actually chopped it back because I didn't know what it was before, but now I know it's mulberry, and I think I'll let it grow. Hopefully I can improve its looks using bonsai techniques. But yeah, it's not really growing in an ideal spot, but they're very hardy, so they're just coming up from whatever dirt is down there and almost kind of like climbing as if it's a vine or something. So pretty cool. I'll let that grow. And then we have this mulberry tree, which it just grew out of the ground itself, and it's already over a meter tall. I think it was slightly taller actually, 1.5 meters. But then I chopped it down. I think I did a decent job, because they say what you have to do with mulberries is to kind of shape it so that when it's time to harvest mulberries, you can reach into the tree. So basically, as you can see, there would be a spot here to put your body to kind of reach in. And then there would be a spot here to kind of, insert yourself and get mulberries. So I just chopped off a couple branches, like right there. I chopped off the tallest branch, and what's actually going to happen is that this side branch here will become the thickest one and kind of become the new leader for this stem, and this part will die off a little, heal, and then it'll become like that. So we'll see how it goes. Apparently mulberry are one of the trees that, if you cut it, if you coppice it, if you cut it down to almost the stump, it'll just come back really quickly. So if you've ever seen those mulberry trees, which are only about maybe 1 to 2 meters high, and then all the branches are coming down and it still has really thick growth even though it looks like it's stunted, that's because they were pollarded, just cut off at the top, and then they allow a crazy amount of branches to come back. And a mulberry tree will definitely do that. If you cut it anywhere, tons of new shoots will come out, and I'll show you that another tree in a second. So here's a little mulberry tree which just started growing this year, and it's only about maybe 2 months old at maximum. So it was planted by birds pooping in the yard. I also wanted to point out that these mulberries are red mulberry, which are native to eastern North America, whereas the white mulberry is it has darker leaves, and the leaves are not fuzzy on the underside. The mulberries, those white mulberries were imported from China because people wanted to grow silkworms to try to kickstart a silkworm industry in North America. However, because of high labor costs, the silk industry did not take off, and so they gave up on that. But then the white mulberry stays, and it has become naturalized. So its range is very, very great in eastern North America, and then so a lot of the white mulberry and the red mulberry hybridize. So it's hard to tell which one is which, but apparently the red mulberry is kind of endangered. But around my yard here, it seems to be all red mulberry. But at the same time, I don't know if they're just hybridized between white and red mulberry trees. So basically, this year, I've noticed that these two mulberry trees have started growing. So there's one here. And I don't mow my lawn here, obviously, to let the forest come back. But this is pretty good growth. It's probably 50 centimeters high. And over here, there's another one. Actually, it looks like there's 3 in total that just grew here. 1, 2, and 3. Purely just from birds depositing the seeds in the soil. So that's pretty cool. I guess I'll just leave them there, and in 2 or 3 years I'll have a lot of mulberry for myself. So to demonstrate the hardiness of mulberry trees, this is, oh no, this is not, sorry, but let's take a look at this. So this is the oldest mulberry tree that I have. It's about 3 years old, and as you can see, all the leaves are dried up and dead. So that happened because what I did was I transplanted the tree from behind the house to in front of the house. And I also removed a secondary stem that was there. Or that was the one that I tried to air layer, but was unsuccessful. So now it's just a stump, and you can see how the trunk turns there. It's because I think the seed was growing under something, and then it just turned out and came out the side. So pretty hardy. And then, I'd just like to mention that also all along the trunk here, I've cut off some of the lower branches to try to make it a taller tree. But anyways, after I moved the tree, I damaged a lot of the roots, and only this branch survived with green leaves. But now you can see it's budding out, and it's budding out in a lot of places here. So thankfully this tree is still alive, and you know, it'll get strong, and it'll be in front of that window there with the portable air conditioner. And I wanted to block out some of the noise from the street and stuff like that when the window's open. So that looks like it'll do decent. It took about 3 weeks, I would say, for it to start budding back after having transplanted it and all the leaves dying. So hopefully that gives you some idea about mulberry, a tree definitely worth cultivating in your garden, especially for the delicious mulberries that can be enjoyed in June of every year. July as well, I think, actually.